This video is sponsored by Buku. It has a 58mm portafilter with automatic grind, dose, and tamp functionality. It has an automatic milk frothing steam one with optimizations for dairy, soy, almond, and oat that also auto starts as soon as the espresso is finished extracting. It has a built-in responsive touchscreen display with pre-programmed recipes including cold brew and cold espresso. It features the Breville Thermojet heating system, which provides insanely fast heat-up times and a thermojet heated group for even better temperature stability. It has a built-in barista guidance mode, letting you know how your shot ran based on speed and provides recommendations based on those results. It has a built-in baratza grinder with 45 stepped settings, and it packs all of this tech and features into a compact, relatively lightweight package that seamlessly blends into any regular kitchen environment. This is the Breville Oracle Jet. Hi, it's Chris, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing the Breville Oracle Jet, a new $2,000 entry into the Breville Espresso Machine lineup. This unit was provided to me by Breville for review, but all thoughts and opinions remain my own. I'll also have links to products mentioned in this video down in the description below, and these products are affiliate links that do help support the channel and are very much appreciated. So I've been using this machine every day for over 2 months now, and honestly, I think this just might be one of the best espresso machines I've ever used, and might even become my go-to recommendation for anyone searching for a complete espresso setup within this budget. The machine is built with a solid mix of plastic and metal components. The main body is brushed stainless steel with 4 different colored options: black, blue, olive green, and the sea salt color that I have here. These colors are fantastic. The sea salt is such a nice, warm, soft, off-white colorway, and it blends with my Husky workbench area quite nicely. And unlike a lot of other products I've reviewed in the past, this is how it's done right when it comes to incorporating a lot of plastic material in your product. It has a super clean finish all around, tight tolerances, and presumably compression molded parts and pieces. The finish of the plastic matches the stainless steel components very seamlessly. So starting from the top of the machine and working my way downwards, the hopper is plastic, but it's integrated fairly well with the baratza grinder. Speaking of which, you can also easily access the conical burrs right here at the top by simply unlocking and removing the hopper. The top surface is fairly flat and standard. It doesn't really warm up since the machine uses the thermojet technology, so it's just a good spot to keep any cups, tools, or even the knockbox if you have a crowned countertop. You also have the water tank, which is a little hidden, making it hard to remember to occasionally clean, but it's integrated quite nicely with a built-in water filter. And on the top surface, you actually have a hatch here that you can open to refill the machine from the front, which is an excellent idea. Plus, the machine will let you know when it needs water. Working our way down, you have a satisfyingly clicky on-off button that also illuminates, and the main interface itself is a nice large touchscreen display that's bright, crisp, and very responsive. I really have no complaints about the screen. Take notes, competitors. This is how you integrate a nice touch display into a machine. Moving down and left, you have the, let's call it, dosing chamber. This is where you lock in the portafilter, and then you can shift it as an extra step to the right to actuate the grinder, which will automatically dose and tamp. Now, to be clear, it's not grinding by weight, and it's not tamping with a flat bottom grinder. It grinds by volume, and it has a spinning level that tamps it flat. Each of these parts can come off easily for deep cleaning and setting the dose. By default, I was seeing a relatively high 22 to 23 gram dose. I have since dosed it down to about 18 grams and swapped to an IMS Nanotech basket. In the middle, you have the actual group head, which is again metal and also houses a second thermojet heated group for very good temperature control. No complaints here. The metal portafilter locks in easily and smoothly, and nothing feels overly rigid or loose. And on the very right side, you have a relatively thick steam one that also houses a temperature probe. This is how it auto steams very well, and it does have limited movement, essentially only swinging outwards and back, which is very slightly annoying, but it does compensate with that by working very well. It also works great for manual steaming if you wanted to, but for the most part, I found that the auto steaming is pretty good, and I can generally get away with doing just that. At the bottom of the machine, you have the drip tray itself, which is actually 3 separate components: a metal top lid, plastic middle, and plastic base. On the colored models, it's worth noting that the machine comes with a plastic clear component to act as a guard, but personally I think it looks a little bit ugly, so I'm not going to use it. There's also a small hidden storage compartment in this area. And at the very bottom, you have a lever that puts the machine up on some smooth gliders to easily move the machine around on a surface. This is such a good idea that only really a company like Breville would really think to integrate. And honestly, there's not a lot that I can complain about from a build quality perspective. Everything has felt really good to use. I can't imagine anything really failing over time from regular usage, and all the parts are polished and finished nicely. Everything here is really designed and made with the consumer in mind. But moving on to the workflow. Now I believe that this is the most idiot-proof machine ever. On first startup, the machine guides you through exactly what to do, and because of the level of automation here, it's maybe 2 steps more than an instant capsule machine, but with 100 times the quality. And just to really reiterate how quick you can get something out of this machine, here's a full workflow start to finish from machine off to complete a drink at 2 to 4 times speed. And you can see that in basically 5 minutes, I've got something that's delicious and ready to go. Now, the workflow can have some quirks here and there, but for the most part, it has been very reliable. Here are the few things I have encountered that I think is worth mentioning. First, you have to really make sure your hopper and grinder area is clean when you want to swap beans. While the majority of the beans can lock into the hopper and take off, it is important that you grind through the rest of the beans that are there. Otherwise, things can start to get a little problematic and you might end up filling this entire area with a bunch of unwanted ground coffee. The automatic leveler or tamper situation here works really good for the most part, although more often than not you do end up with some extra grounds around the sides of the portafilter, but it is easy enough to just brush it out of the way, or prior to actually grinding your dose, gently tap it out, and workflow wise I would recommend giving this chamber a few knocks or taps just to loosen any of those residual grounds. If you wanted to take it a step further, you can redistribute and tamp your puck to get a more even extraction. And that's made super quick and easy with the latest tamper from the sponsor of today's video, Buku. Now it's not often that I come across a product that actually changes my workflow and that I actually want to talk about. This new tamper and scale from Buku combines some of the best features and technologies into a package that's a fraction of the price of competitors. I found the Buku scale to be just as fast and as responsive as my Akaya Lunar, but it's even smaller and has a unique see-through design. The tamper features a built-in WDT tool that's attached with magnets that easily slides out and back in when it's not in use. The self-leveling tamper also has solid feedback clicks for when you're fully compressing your puck. These tools have been excellent to use, and I'm just really in love with the tamper design. I'll leave links to both these products in the description down below, and once again, thanks to Buku for sponsoring this video. Now continuing on our list of little quirks, when you go to clean the steam wand, you want to raise it outward once, wipe it, and push it back once. This will then tell the machine that it's time to purge the steam wand automatically. If you do pull it out, accidentally push it in, and then try to pull it back out to wipe it, it will cancel the auto purge and you'll want to manually purge it instead. The machine itself has some great software features. The grinder dial is linked to a visual on screen that shows you your grind size, and when you pull a shot, the machine will also automatically suggest a finer or coarser grind size based on the speed of the output. Although I generally found it has a fairly large tolerance for what it considers acceptable, anywhere from 20 to 40 seconds. The machine integrates a lot of really good visual guides for cleaning the steam wand, group head, descaling, and there are plenty of settings that you can fine-tune to your preference. But this machine is designed for the casual coffee enjoyer with a fairly big budget. Not the super coffee nerds measuring temperature, time, weight, and pressure and trying to dial in every little bit for every different bean that they're going to run through. So rather than grind and brew by weight, you also have things that are mostly measured in volume. You can change the brew from measuring by volume to time, but I find that volume works just fine for the most part. And similar to my take on the Breville Bambino, this is a latte machine. Or flat white, cappuccinos, whatever you want, it does it all and it does it really well. You can get fine results with just straight espresso, but if you're after turbos, ultralight roasts, high clarity brews, I would look elsewhere. But for someone that just wants something that works daily, is easy to clean, and will suit any regular environment, you should really look no further. It's going to be leagues ahead of a capsule machine, and with minimal work or knowledge to get it going, this machine is really one that's made for the masses, despite its fairly premium price tag. It's hard to fault much here. I wouldn't say it's a perfect machine, but it's really good at what it aims to do. All the small details and touches make for an excellent user experience, and the size of a company like Breville leaves little room for concern with post-purchase support and longevity. And so that's going to be my take on the Breville Oracle Jet. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, if you did enjoy, please drop a like, and if you learned something new, consider subscribing, and I will see you in the next one.